there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that.
Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor.
Sophie Cunningham's season ended in a shocking twist, and it's shaking up the WNBA like never before. Bria Hartley has not only been suspended, but is facing a lawsuit after a brutal assault on the court. This isn't just a foul, it's a game changer. The question on everyone's mind, has the WNBA lost all control, or is this the new norm for the league? Stay tuned as we break down the chaos and the consequences that could change everything.
It's sad. It's very, very sad and unfortunate what has happened to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very...
It all started with what seemed like a regular play, but what happened next shocked everyone. Sophie Cunningham, bringing the ball up the court, was hit hard by Bria Hartley, knocked straight to the floor in a collision that looked anything but accidental. The moment was a brutal reminder that basketball can be violent, but this crossed a line. Cunningham hit the floor so hard that it left fans gasping, and it was immediately clear something was wrong. As Cunningham was helped off the floor, it became painfully obvious that her season was in jeopardy. The doctors were called in, but the damage was done. Her knee gave out, and the speculation began. Was it her ACL? Her Achilles? We still don't know for sure. But what we do know is that this wasn't just a hard foul. This was a career-altering incident, one that might have been preventable if the game had been called fairly. But the worst part, the WNBA's response. Despite the severity of the hit, nothing was called. No foul, no flagrant, just a play on. And it wasn't until after the game that the truth came out. Hartley wasn't just playing aggressively. She crossed into reckless, malicious territory, and now, Sophie Cunningham's season is over. The question remains, was this a case of bad luck, or is this the ugly reality of a league that's lost control? This isn't the first time Bria Hartley has made headlines for the wrong reasons. In fact, her track record of dirty plays stretches far beyond the incident with Sophie Cunningham. You don't have to dig too deep to find examples of Hartley's reckless behavior on the court. Just ask Angel Reese, who had her hair pulled out of midair by Hartley, or Becca Allen, who was thrown down like a rag doll during a game. These weren't accidental moves. These were calculated actions designed to inflict damage. Now, with Sophie Cunningham down for the season, it's hard not to see this as part of a disturbing pattern. This wasn't just a hard foul or a fluke play gone wrong. This was Bria Hartley doing what she's become known for. It's no longer about playing tough defense. It's about crossing the line into dangerous, career-threatening plays. And here's the kicker.
You talk to Sophie Cunningham and she'll say, I'm trying to wrap her up, and I do think that's what...
The WNBA has been turning a blind eye to this for years. Hartley's aggressive style has been warned about by commentators, fans, and even some players, but the league has been slow to act. The WNBA has let this go on for far too long, allowing one player to set the tone for a league that's supposedly about empowering women and promoting the game. Instead, they've created a culture where dirty play is tolerated, and players like Bria Hartley get to carry on without real consequence. That is, until now. But the real question is, how long can the WNBA ignore this behavior? How many more players will have their seasons cut short because of one person's reckless play? The league might be pretending this is just a series of unfortunate accidents, but anyone watching closely knows better. This is a pattern, and it's only getting worse. This isn't just about one player getting hurt.
Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and
It's about a key piece of the WNBA being ripped out from under us. Sophie Cunningham wasn't just another player on the court. She was the heart and soul of the Indiana Fever. Her intensity, her toughness, and her ability to step up when it mattered made her invaluable to her team. But beyond that, she was the enforcer. The one player who wasn't afraid to mix it up, get in your face, and stand up for her teammates. Cunningham's role on the Fever was crucial, especially when it came to protecting the league's biggest star, Caitlin Clark. While other players might shy away from getting physical, Sophie was always there to take the hits, absorb the fouls, and dish some back when needed. She was the one who made sure Indiana didn't get pushed around. And let's not forget how much she brought to the game beyond the physicality. Cunningham was a key player in the offense, hitting shots when her team needed it most, and she defended like her career depended on it. But now, with Sophie gone for the season, what does that mean for the Fever? The team has lost its edge, its toughness. And with Caitlin Clark now more vulnerable than ever, Indiana is exposed. It's a devastating blow, not just for Cunningham, but for the league as a whole. Sophie wasn't just playing for a paycheck or a title. She was proving she could be more than a role player. But now, All of that potential is up in the air, and the loss of her presence on the court will be felt for the rest of the season. The real question is, how do you replace a player like Sophie Cunningham? You can't. And that's what makes this injury so much worse than just another accident. It's the loss of a leader, a protector, and a player who could have changed the course of this season for Indiana. But this isn't just about Sophie Cunningham. It's about a larger problem that's been festering in the WNBA for years. The league's obsession with physicality, as if toughness is the only thing that matters, is now coming back to haunt them. We've seen it all season: star players sidelined with injuries, teams scrambling to fill gaps with makeshift lineups, and the league pretending it's all just part of the game. But is it really? Or is the WNBA turning a blind eye to a dangerous culture of unchecked violence on the court?
Sophie Cunningham went down. It did not look good. I heard her saying no from the court. It was heartbreaking. I am hoping, this is the hope, that it was more of like a bruised knee type thing. There aren't many updates as of yet, but she will be getting an MRI, so hopefully we'll hear something tomorrow. But judging by the way that the WNBA expands on injuries, it's probably not going to be a lot, but my guess
Let's talk about the injuries. Caitlin Clark, arguably the biggest star in women's basketball right now, has missed more games than she's played this season. And she's not alone. Sydney Colson tore her ACL. A.R. McDonald broke her foot. Players like Sophie Cunningham are suffering devastating injuries, and the league is somehow acting like it's just bad luck. But what if it's not bad luck? What if it's the result of a league that refuses to rein in the physicality, where every game feels like it could turn into a street fight? The WNBA's leadership has somehow convinced itself that promoting this kind of reckless play is a selling point. They paraded the league's toughness as something to be proud of. But let's be real, fans aren't paying to watch their favorite players get carted off the court. They're paying to watch the stars perform, to see them bring their A-game every night. Instead, they're seeing stars get injured and rosters decimated by players who are allowed to play with little regard for safety. And let's talk about the referees for a second. Because, frankly, their incompetence has played a major role in all of this. If the referees had done their job, Sophie Cunningham wouldn't be on the sidelines right now. But instead of calling an obvious foul when Hartley took Cunningham out, they just let the play continue as if nothing happened. No flagrant, no ejection, nothing. It was as if the refs were blind to what was going on right in front of them. This isn't the first time we've seen this level of oversight. Time and time again, referees have allowed dirty plays to slide under the radar, either out of laziness or fear of making the tough call. How many more players have to get injured before the WNBA realizes that refereeing isn't just about calling the obvious fouls, it's about protecting the players? When you let dangerous plays go unchecked, you set a precedent that encourages even more reckless behavior. And this is exactly what we've seen this season. And here's where things get even more intense. Bria Hartley isn't just suspended, she's being sued. That's right. This incident has crossed the line from sports drama to legal action, and it's about time. When a player's reckless behavior causes harm to a teammate, it's no longer just a violation of game rules. It's a violation of basic human decency. Sophie Cunningham isn't just dealing with a career-threatening injury, she's facing the harsh reality of lost wages, medical bills, and a future that's uncertain at best. And now, she's holding Hartley accountable in court. This lawsuit isn't just a slap in the face to Bria Hartley. It's a wake-up call to the entire league. For too long, players have been allowed to play dirty without facing any real consequences. But now that the courts are involved, things are about to change. If Sophie Cunningham wins, or even settles, this could set a dangerous precedent. What happens when other players, like Angel Reese or Becca Allen, decide to take legal action for being assaulted on the court? What if every time a player is injured from a dirty play, they turn to the courts for compensation? The floodgates are about to open, and the WNBA better be ready for the legal fallout. But beyond the lawsuit itself, there's a bigger issue at play here. This is about holding players accountable, not just through fines or suspensions, but through tangible consequences that can change the way people play. Bria Hartley might face a suspension now, but what happens when players realize they could lose endorsements, career opportunities, and face significant legal battles if they don't clean up their act? The WNBA has a choice to make. Either they can continue to ignore the severity of these actions and let players play dangerously, or they can start taking real steps to protect their athletes, both on and off the court. Now, let's turn our attention to the WNBA's leadership, or lack thereof. Because if there's one thing the league has proven this season, it's that they're more focused on saving face than actually protecting their players. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, for example, seems more concerned with promoting the idea that players need to rest more or avoid off-season leagues than addressing the real problem at hand, a culture of reckless physicality that's endangering the careers of some of the league's best players. When it comes to the damage done by plays like the one that ended Sophie Cunningham's season, Engelbert and the league have been disturbingly silent. Instead of taking a stand, the WNBA's leadership has chosen to ignore the issue, allowing dirty play to flourish while offering weak, half-hearted responses. The focus shouldn't be on blaming off-season leagues or mismanaging player health. It should be on taking immediate action to prevent situations like this from happening in the first place. But when your league's commissioner is busy deflecting blame instead of tackling the core problem, you know there's a major leadership failure. This isn't just a case of bad luck. It's a direct result of the WNBA turning a blind eye to the growing trend of dangerous play. There's a clear pattern of negligence here, and the WNBA's leadership is complicit in it. They've allowed physicality to be confused with recklessness, and by doing so, they've put the health of their players at risk. The fact that we're now talking about lawsuits and career-threatening injuries is a glaring indication of just how out of touch the league is with the realities of what's happening on the court. It's time for the WNBA to take responsibility. It's time for the commissioner to step up and address the growing concerns about player safety. If the league continues to ignore these issues, it's only a matter of time before even more stars are sidelined, and fans start questioning whether it's even worth tuning in to watch a game where the only thing at risk is a player's career. If the WNBA doesn't take immediate and decisive action, the future of the league could be at serious risk. What we're witnessing is more than just one unfortunate injury. It's the unraveling of the league's credibility. The WNBA has been on the rise, thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, who are bringing fresh attention to the game. But instead of protecting these star players, the league has allowed them to become targets. And with Sophie Cunningham's injury, the league is now facing the fallout from allowing this reckless physicality to go unchecked. The WNBA's reputation is at stake here. This isn't just about one season or one game. It's about the long-term health of the league. Fans are loyal, but they're not going to keep tuning in if they feel like their favorite players are in constant danger of being injured by unchecked, aggressive play. And let's face it, if the WNBA keeps ignoring the issue, it won't be just Sophie Cunningham on the injury list next season. The stars that fans are flocking to see will start to question whether it's worth sticking around in a league that seems to care more about toughness than player safety. It's not just the players who are at risk. The WNBA's entire business model relies on star power. Without players like Clark, Cunningham, and Reese, the league loses its appeal to fans and sponsors. No one wants to see a league filled with injuries and controversy. The WNBA is at a crossroads. They can choose to embrace a future where they protect their players, enforce the rules, and build a reputation for quality basketball. Or they can continue down this dangerous path where the stars burn out before they can truly shine. At the end of the day, the WNBA faces a crucial turning point. The shocking assault on Sophie Cunningham by Bria Hartley isn't just about one player's injury. It's a symptom of a much bigger issue that the league has been ignoring for far too long. Reckless play, dangerous fouls, and a lack of proper enforcement are putting the very future of the game in jeopardy. Sophie Cunningham's injury might be the most high-profile example, but it's far from the only one this season. From Caitlin Clark's missed games to the endless roster changes due to injuries, it's clear that something has to change. The WNBA needs to take a hard look at its leadership, its referees, and its approach to physicality. It's not enough to say, this is just part of the game, or toughness is what makes women's basketball exciting. Fans want to see their stars playing, not sidelined by injuries caused by dirty plays and poor officiating. If the league doesn't act now, it risks losing not only its players, but its reputation, its audience, and its future. So, what happens next? Will the WNBA finally step up and make real changes to protect its players? Or will it continue to sweep these issues under the rug, pretending like nothing is wrong? The time to act is now. If the league doesn't start holding players accountable for dangerous actions, it won't just be Sophie Cunningham on the sidelines next season. It could be your favorite star, and maybe even the league's future itself. What do you think? Should Bria Hartley ever play again? Or is this the final straw for the WNBA's tough guy image? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Because one thing's for sure, the future of the WNBA is on the line, and it's up to all of us to make our voices heard.